Good morning, everybody. We are back again. We are back with our sports news. The news are coming thick and fast. Remember that football has started again, and then so that is why we've got so many news to give you information. Let me just remind you that my name is the Sobre Boys Walifatse from the Big R, and then I'm together with Jacob Silematsela Ntwentle. And then at the same time, I'm also with Tsepang Kole. But this is how am I going to do it? Um, I'll give you the news first. And when I go to Jackie will greet you. Then after greeting you, Jackie will simply jump into the topic of the day. So that's very important. Now, the most important thing that I want to talk to you about as the first important news that I need to give out to you guys is the PSL has issued a statement of apology. Apparently, the PSL learned yesterday the unfortunate incident that took place when the two senior teams, Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns met on the 25th of September, the 21st. What happened is the coach of Bafana Bafana was not allowed to enter the stadium. So the PSL, it's not happy about that, and then the PSL, it's regrettably regretting the incident that happened. They apologize unreservedly as far as that is concerned. It is known that the coach of the national squad will be given latitude to attend any of the game as a way of trying to assess the players so that he can see which players are fit to qualify for the national squad. So apparently the PSL, they are going to conduct their own internal investigation to find out what happened. But what is good is they apologize to the inconvenience, especially to the coach and the SAFA and the South African public, because that's a very important exercise conducted by the coach. But today's topic is this. Yeah, we see that coaches are leaving. We talk every day, hey, Chippa United, Chippa Mpengi fires the players, the coaches all the time. The phenomenon now is happening at Kaiser Chiefs. You know, Kaiser Chiefs used to have coaches for a longer period, 3 years or so, but lately it's not like that anymore. Now, the question is it the blame that should be put squarely on the coaches, or the blame should be put squarely on the team, or the blame should be put squarely on the players? All right, but today we want to look at the players because these players, they hide behind the team, they hide behind the coaches for their misdeed, which is not fair for the team that spent so much money on them, but at the end of the day, the players don't come to a party. Now, I'll give you part of the arguments. We remember what Zimbabwe said. Zimbabwe said, I'm a coach, and being a coach, I cannot teach the players the basics. He said, these players, they fail to do the basics, all right? Which are the basics that they should have learned while they were still here. Now, if you go through the social media, you know, I said before that we have been liberated. With the advent of social media, you can get news like this very quick, all right? I saw somebody on social media uh, putting this argument, which I want my co-host to indicate whether they agree or disagree with the statement that has been uttered by this gentleman. He said, Sundowns is not strong. That's what he said. He said, the teams, they make it strong. Our players, apparently, if you listen to this guy, it's either he's a Kaiser Chief fan or Orlando Pirates fan. He says, our players lack basics, are terrible passers, all right? and then look at goals. Look at goals we conceded. Says they're terrible passes, and the goals that we conceded are silly goals. Sundowns is a team that capitalized on other teams' mistakes. He said we played well, but again, silly mistakes are what killed us today. I suspect this is a Pirates fan. The problem is not the coach, but the players for poor decision making. So that's what he's saying. Now, I also read something on social media on Robert Marawa's program or social media page. He says, I normally don't like to follow tabloids, all right? And then I also watch Sunday World, and then I've seen Sunday World. They've been lamenting about some of the players. So Marawa saying, I don't normally follow the tabloids, but I mean Mutswari being suspended because because of the allegations that he battered or he assaulted his girlfriend. All right, Mahangwe for going on booze spree, totaling to an amount of 26,000, spending the whole night drinking with girls. Remember that even last year, it was alleged that Thembi Nkosi Lodge assaulted his girlfriend, and then we don't know what happened. And we know that now people are saying Thembi Nkosi Lodge was involved in an accident, so that is why he's ruled out. And remember, Thembi Nkosi is the highest paid player at Orlando Pirates. Now, Pirates is not going to benefit anything from that player, all right, for this season. So those are some of the things that we need to look at. And it is also alleged that Kune is always clubbing most of the time, all right? And then, so I want to bring it closer to home when we say maybe sometimes the players too, they should take responsibility. Not only Kune, they even say Andile Jali, very talented footballer. They say they wonder why Andile Jali always is overtaken by Mvala, because they say he parties too much, Andile Jali too. So those are some of the things that people are talking about. So are we at a stage now we need to look at ourselves as players? Right, I'm not a player, of course. So I'm talking as if I'm a player now. Are we at the stage now, players, they need to look at themselves to say, what contribution are we making? What harm are we causing? Because we harm the supporters, we harm the team. Remember, the team invests a lot of money. We harm the sponsors, and then we harm the other team members who are serious, who wants to win titles and trophies. So who to blame? The players. Are we correct to say the players, it's high time that they should take responsibility now? Jackie, maybe you need to start by greeting the viewers and come up with your comment.
Good morning, Tau. Good morning to the viewers at home. Thank you very much for hosting me once more, Tau. It's a very, very sensitive kind of a topic, my brother. And I must really indicate that it's about time. Yes, I agree. It's about time that players, they need to account. They need to be accountable. They go out there and doing all those kind of things. At the end of the day, the coaches are being dismissed because of non-delivery of positive results. But the main cause of the whole problem are the players. Our players generally are ill-disciplined. You mentioned a player like Itumeleng Khune. You mentioned a player like Andile Jali. You mentioned a player like Mwango, driving all out throughout the night, drinking and then spending 26,000 rand. You know, things like that. It doesn't show that our players are disciplined. They are not disciplined. And our players should be, I mean, a team should introduce a system of fining them very hard. They must hit them hard in their pockets. And at the same time, they must convert their contracts to be performance-based, because they're earning a lot of money, and then at the same time, in terms of deliverables, it's none. It's not fair to the team. It's not fair to us as supporters. So definitely, I think it's about time that our players are being punished and they must take a responsibility.
So it's high time that they need to be punished, and it's high time that
Definitely.
now the fans need to stop putting too much pressure on the coaches. Remember, coaches are human beings, and the next thing, the club bosses are being blamed. We saw the matches that went to Naturena, and Kaiser Chiefs tried to appease them by buying players this year. Look at both Billiard and Keegan Doddy. If you take the two players, their salary every month, if those reports are correct, I just want to qualify that, is 2.2 million. 2.2 million every month you give the two players, all right? And now, I'm not saying they are behaving that way. You know, if you part with that money and the next thing you get this kind of attitude in the field of play. Last one, what's your take?
No, good morning to the viewers out there and to you, my fellow colleagues. I agree with Mr. Jackie. He actually said a mouthful, most of the things that I wanted to say, but he already said them. We should put a system needs to be in place like they do overseas, you know, in terms of banning players once they do responsible things and so forth, you know. Yes, there should be hits in their pockets. I think that's something that's been long overdue. It's been going on for generation and generations, but in terms of the behavior of the players, but that system hasn't been put in place. I think that system needs to be put in place whereby we actually hold players accountable and you know the fines and everything should come in place, you know. So I feel like, yes, the system needs to be in place in order to stop this whole thing, because now it seems like our players are spoiled and they can get away with anything. Because one day you can hear a scandal, then the next day, the scandal, we hear that the charges have been dropped. So, you know, certain things, we feel like our players are being spoiled and they can just get away with anything. And we should remember that the youngsters are looking up to these players. So some of these senior players can still go out with these youth players, and you see that the influence rubs off on them. And then it means that once the youth players get at their peak within the age of the senior players, then they'll also carry on doing what they've learned from the senior players. So that's just something that needs to be stopped, you know, because at the end of the day, our senior players should be a role model and a good example to the upcoming generation that's coming, you know. So yeah, this is what I have regarding this matter. But yeah, clearly a system needs to be put in place from the PSL and the clubs, you know, in order to protect also the PSL itself, you know, from such scandals. At least there's a manner that they have to, you know, put in place and deal with such situations.
Now, the PSL cannot come in there because it's an employer and employee relationship. The people who should come in there is the teams. And I'm sure SAFPU should also play a role. And then probably at some point, we need to speak to Thulaganyo and find out what role as the union, what role are they going to play. But I want us to be very careful, guys. We need to treat this information as allegation. They are not facts, all right? These are the allegations. I'll tell you why I'm saying they are allegations. If you listen to my interview with Thabo Matlaba, you know, the right back for Orlando Pirates, Thabo once said he was in a pub, not in a pub, he went somewhere with friends, they were drinking, lady friends. His lady friend who brought her cousin. Now a brawl ensued between the cousin and her lady friend. Thabo decided to come in and try to stop the fight and so on. Thereafter, Thabo went away. 3 days down the line, Thabo was now accused of having assaulted the lady, and they wanted to open up a case against him because now they saw a cash cow now. Do you understand? So that is why I'm saying we need to be very careful. Hence, sometimes you get them from tabloids. Tabloids, that is why they're tabloids, all right? Let us not talk as if those are the facts. But if they are the facts and the players, they know that these are the facts, they should desist, all right? But for now, I want to treat all this as allegations because we hear only one side of the story. We never hear the side of Kune. We never hear the side of Mohango and other players. You understand? So we should be very careful. Hence, I'm saying if that is the case, I hope that they are listening and they will be able to desist from those kind of behaviors. And before I close, you know, I always say you need to benchmark yourself with people like Messi and Ronaldo. You know, these guys have been there for 20 years, 20 years, all right? And you look at their lifestyle. Ronaldo was only one scandal, a nightclub in England, once. After that, we never heard anything, all right? Except people who are accusing him and so on and so on, all right? Messi haven't picked up any scandal, all right? And how are these people treating themselves? You know, you'll be shocked, guys. I saw a social media, you know, messages. They were showing Lionel Messi when the female fans approach him for pictures. Very interesting, very interesting. They were showing that at no stage Lionel Messi will touch this female fans. He will take pictures with them, but you'll never see his hand maybe hugging them or whatever. All right? And then they went further and showed that when he hugs his wife. I said, gee whiz, this is amazing, man. This is really amazing. Not everybody does that, eh? Even myself, I hug a friend. Yourself, I'm sure, Jackie. Yourself, last one. You know,
Yes.
I said, this guy, what kind of person is this guy? You understand? It's a high standard. It's a high standard. But I'm saying our players, they need to model themselves looking at people like that to say, gee whiz, look, Ronaldo will play until 40. If he continues this way, he'll play till 40. And guess what? I'm sure Messi will play till 40 if he continues this way. So, viewers out there, what's your take? It's high time that players, if really this is the truth, they need to be punished. And then you as fans too, remember even fans, they contribute. They are happy, yeah, I see you, they buy you booze, they forget that you are going to play. You as fans also must play a role and make sure that you don't destroy your players as much as you love them. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know it. I know it have done. It has happened before in my life, my old life while I was still a teacher. People would come and buy me booze and stuff like that. But fortunately enough, I've never drank in my life, so that has never been a problem. But and some of them, they were not doing it out of malice. They were doing it because they were happy. You make them happy, so they don't know what to do when they're with you. You know, when they're in their company with you. So they want to make you happy. They want you to feel comfortable. But sometimes we need to also to take responsibility and stop making our players corrupt our players. So we need to make sure that we protect our players and say, we need you to be a role model even tomorrow. All right? That's my parting shot. Thank you very much. And then I hope you out there, you'll continue with this debate and tell us, is it a high time that now the players should be punished? Remember, Jackie, when you're talking about the boss of Al Ahly, and then he said, no, the matter is not in the contract. But I'm saying, yes, it's not in the contract, but the contract can be renegotiated. The guy is saying, no. If you guys are losing, I'm gonna punish you. I'm gonna hit your pockets. Do you understand? So for me, if you ask me in principle, it's a nice principle. You know very well that if I don't perform, I'm not gonna get paid. If I perform, I'll get paid. That's me, you know. I may be wrong. And then viewers out there, Jackie, do you want to say something before I close?
No, you've said a mouthful, Tau. You've said a mouthful, and then I think I just wish that our listeners and viewers can be able to comment and continue on this matter, because it's very sensitive, so that our players can be able to learn to be accountable and responsible.
Tshepa, in your closing remarks?
No, you've said a mouthful. I hope this is a learning curve for everyone, even everyone who's going to, you know, view this show and listen to the show. It would be nice for the soccer players also, you know, if our message also gets out there, and what are other people saying about the situations that are happening, you know. It's high time that things change, but I hope it's a learning curve for everyone. But yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Shabalala.
Thank you.